5. Oh wait, that's me.
No, I've been up since
I've been up since 5 too.
Burn half the mouse.
Maybe we better not use this. Alright, good queen, bad queen. We all know without a queen you don't have a hive. So we're July, rapidly approaching August. I'm not sure how that happened. In August, September, these are the bees that are going to get your hive through the winter time. So now's the time to start buckling down, figuring out how you're going to run your configuration, feeding them, and looking at your brood patterns and trying to figure out, the way the brood pattern looks. Is it disease? If it is, you better fix it quick. Is it a queen problem? You better fix it quick because, as Butch said, in the local areas it's getting harder and harder to find a queen this time of year. So come September, October, if you've got a queen problem, you might as well go ahead and find your sick queen if you've got one, or if you don't have one, you need to go ahead and combine, because you're not going to be able to find a good queen in the fall, winter months. And so the best thing to do is make sure your hive is healthy, make sure you got a good queen going into the winter. Alright, we'll talk about this. I'm going to find my queen. I don't care. I really don't care if you can't find your queen, as long as you have eggs. Eggs, find your eggs. Me? The older I get, the harder it is to find the eggs. Use your phone. Take a picture of your frame, blow it up. Use your phone. We won't tell anybody. It's for educational purposes. It is, you're educating yourself. So if you can't see eggs, I like dark frame. I use the black plastic, because that helps. And then the sunshine, that helps. And then glasses. Take a picture of the frame, blow it up, and you'll see eggs. But you gotta find your eggs. Can't find your queen? I don't care. Find your eggs. What's your laying pattern? Like Butch was talking about, in the springtime, he wants the whole entire frame. He just wants all brood all the time. In the wintertime, we want brood and resources. Brood, resources. Alright, do you have a spotty pattern? Sometimes you got a spotty pattern. We'll go through different slides. Sometimes it's spotty because you got a hygienic hive. You've got some disease process, but it's going to be okay. The hive is going to correct it. So your spotty brood pattern is your worker bee's going, Junior ain't looking so hot. We're just going to take Junior outside. That's good. You want that, right? But you don't want your queens failing, or you've got a severe disease process happening that pulling a few larvae out. No, the whole thing's not failing. So you gotta look at that. Oh, this is a big one this time of year. So we saw a little baby swarm a while ago. Yeah, they're running out of things to eat. It is hot as Hades. So they're having to bringing in a pretty good amount of water right now, which when it rains is not a big deal, but when it's not. So that's a lot of energy expense to fly out, bring water in. They're eating all their honey. They're eating all their pollen. So, are they pulling larvae because they're hungry? The vegetarian little insects that we've all been told are the vegan little insects? No, they'll eat their babies. If they get hungry enough, they will eat the larvae to sustain the hive. Alright. That's what we want, right? Yay! Good girl. You get good. So, little holes here and there. Either she didn't like the cell wasn't ready for her, they pulled somebody out because it was not healthy. I don't care. I want her. She's my favorite. There's your little eggs. Aww. And again, I don't care about where my queen's at yet, as long as I got eggs. Here's the big one. See all the different life stage? Look what's in the... I don't hard to tell on this. They're all juicy. They're fat, juicy little larvae. That is what you want. All different. They look wet, right? That's good. That's good. There you go. And now we got disease process, and we're going to skim through this because we've covered a bunch of it tonight. So you've got disease processes that can be happening that you're going to think, oh, my queen is fine. My hive is diseased. Well, maybe. But it can fool you. So you got to, there's all the things. Alright, heat stress right now. Right now. Just hang on a second. Heat stress. Look at a swarm. Heat stress. In all seriousness, July, August is heat stress city for your bees. So they get stressed, they'll start pulling larvae out. They don't have the resources, so they're like, you live, you die. So, and they'll eat them, right? But not all of your frames. For some reason, they'll pick a couple of frames. Be like, I gotta go. We don't have time for you. But then so you gotta look. If you've got 20 frames, supposed to be full of brood, and 5 or 6 of them are kind of looking like that, I'm going with heat or food is your problem. Now all your frames are like that, you got a bigger problem. So, we talked about paint color. What color do you paint your hives? I haven't gone to the transfer stations for mine. I go to Home Depot or a big box store, paint. I don't care if it's sage green instead of emerald green. Whatever. So that's what we did in the beginning. We wanted all these matchy pretty hives. And realistic story is once you go through a couple of seasons, you're going to have boxes of all different colors on because that's the one that got closest. You're not going to keep them matchy anymore. Don't paint them black. Don't paint them dark brown. And when I say that, they live in trees. Figure that one out. And then Rodney, because they're camouflage painted. He's got a few that are in some areas are camouflage. But he also checks his bees pretty frequently. The rule of thumb, paint them a light color. Screen bottom board for ventilation. I'm in the Dutch camp on this one. My bees have screen bottom boards. I do not close my bottom boards up, and I provide a windbreak. So even in the wintertime, my girls are wide open. So I do think they're healthier, and I think it allows for the ventilation, and it helps with the heat stress on the bees. Oh, and then you can prop the top. Your telescoping cover, you can just prop it up with a little stick, add it as a little chimney. So, luckily right now we do have some rain, but at the beginning of the year when we didn't have rain and it was hot, that's when you're gonna, and then sometimes in August and September we go through a pretty good drought. That is gonna be bad for these girls too. That's when they're gonna start eating your larvae unless you provide them sources. Larvae is a pretty good source of protein. Except for the problem is your August larva is your winter bee. So if they eat too many, your hive is gonna become weak. And it's not gonna make it through the winter time. So, how do you fix it? Feed them. What do I feed? Yes, there's studies that say that ratio is a little different. I'm lazy. They don't care. They didn't ask me if I waited. To me, I do easy math because I hate math. 1 to 1. So as soon as you get your honey supers off for you, so that's what you want, start feeding your bees. There was the question about, my bees are taking a gallon a week, and are they going to become honey bound? Probably not, because they're using up so much resources right now just flying around, and they're also using up so much resources trying to keep their hives cool. Textbook says feed 2 to 1. I'm lazy. Mine's 1 to 1. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm lazy. But textbook, when you read about it. So if you go to your hives at the end of August, September, really knows what I'm doing. And you can use one hand on double deep 10 frame boxes. And you can go whoop without making a grunting noise. Feed your bees. Your bees are eating their larvae. Diseases of the brood. Again, brood diseases will mimic a failing queen. So you've got to know, you've got to do an autopsy on this hive and figure out real quick what's happening. PMS. I love PMS. It just makes it sound so fun. It is just a little syndrome. So you've got your parasitic mite syndrome, European fallow brood, in the name, brood. Alright, so let's say you've got European fallow brood. What do you do to treat it? Feed them, requeen them now, because you can't requeen in September and October. Antibiotics, y'all know me, I don't like antibiotics. Because first off, antibiotic resistance. Second off, it's a pain in the butt to get antibiotics for your bees right now. 2017, your honeybees have become food animals, just like these cows. If one of these girls over here, if Roger calls me and says, "Hey Terry, old bee doesn't feel good, she needs a shot of PNG." I'm like, all right, I'll come over here and give bee an old shot of PNG. I know I'm going to have to wait, I think it's 8 to 12 weeks, before I can milk her or send her to the slaughterhouse because she's had antibiotics, because there's a withdrawal time on antibiotics. We don't have withdrawal times in honey. It's in honey. I don't like antibiotics. Most of the time you can feed, requeen, add brood, and feed past your antibiotic need. Most of the time. And if you do think you need antibiotics, call me or Bill or Butch. We'll go through it, figure it out, and if you do, I have an inside source. Most of the time you don't. Do you agree? Unless you're hurt. We used to sprinkle it in on fun. We did have a member that just every now and then sprinkle antibiotics into his hive just to keep them healthy. Here's your antibiotic. Tetracycline, Tylenol powder. Used to be you could run up to Tractor Supply and get it for your chickens. You can't do that anymore. Alright. So now we got these disease processes, and we're like, alright, well, they don't have European foul brood. Did a mite check. My mites are 0. They've got water. They've got pollen. They've got plenty of honey. I still have spotty brood. Crap. Now what do I do? So, March. When you open your hive up in March, you're going to have an extraordinary amount of drone, right? If you're using drone comb, the green frames, most of it's going to be on there. There'll be some on the other frames. During the summertime, about 10% is going to be drones. In August and September, if you open up your hive, still working. If you open your hive and you've got greater than 10 or 15% drones, your queen's running out of gas, right? I don't care how old your queen is, it could be a this year's queen. Age is always important. She's just a baby. She didn't get well mated. Now if she's 2 years old, 3 years old, well, she's out of gas. Remember, bees, queen emerges, she goes out on mating flights. There'll be multiple flights. The goal is for her to mate with as many drones as she can. 5 to 7 is average. Her spermatheca is full. That is your worker bees. When she runs out of gas, she can't fertilize the egg. She's laying drones. Your queen in your hive is not going to make it through winter time. You've got to requeen. Oh, this one's fun. Bill touched on this one. Couple of things on your laying workers. You haven't had a queen in about 28 days to have a laying worker. Because that's about how long it takes for, well, first off, they figure out pretty quick Queenie's gone, right? For whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe the hornet managed to sneak in and get her. Maybe you rolled her doing a hive inspection. I don't know. She didn't leave a note. She's just gone. Whether she swarms, she's dead, whatever. From the time the pheromones clear out, and the worker bee, who was probably an older larva, she received oral jelly a little bit longer than everybody else, so those ovaries got just a smidge bigger. And the queen's pheromones was suppressing it. So your queen's been gone about a month. What are your bee dates? How long it takes to get a queen? How long it takes to rear brood? All of that. So if you're a month behind, you got a big problem in a dwindling hive. So how do you know? So, a couple of things. See the eggs? There's multiple eggs. Well, guess what? You can have a virgin queen lay multiple eggs. But there's multiple eggs. See, over here, over here, here, down here, over here. Queen bee is going to be in the center because her butt's bigger. So when your butt's bigger, you can drop it down to the very center and the bottom, come away, whether you drop 1 egg or 2 eggs. A laying worker has a short little stubby butt, and she doesn't know how to count. So that's what you're going to get. Now, temperament-wise, a lot of times these are angry bees because they don't have true queen pheromone to kind of subdue them. So if you got a grumpy hive and you've got this, you have a problem. And by the way, you're not going to find her, and there could be more than one. So you're just not, it's just not going to happen. You can try. All right, this, see it, that one's good. That one kind of fell down, and that was a little misfire, but good. That's probably a virgin queen. She hadn't, her factory's not kicked in yet. She's working up the bugs. So, there's 101 ways to skin a cat on this one. You can do the shake method, which is you go out away. So if there are bees over here, I'm going to go over there, and I'm just going to shake every bee off the frames. Some of those frames are going to come back over, or bees are going to come back over here. Hopefully they'll find their way into a few other hives. They'll be like, oh my God, y'all are homeless, come on in. Sometimes they just get bald and dead. But other times they just fly away and I don't know where they go. So, that's an easy one. Shake them home. Wish them good luck. Let's go, okay, maybe they won't. You can combine them. You can combine them, so if you combine them, Bill touched on this, is you have a good strong colony. Good strong colony is here. You can put queen excluder, you can put some newspaper down, a couple sheets of newspaper, put queenless colony here. The theory is by the time you got bees here, they don't belong together, so their pheromones are kind of intermingling, and this one's probably angry, going, I don't like your queen, and he's like, we had a queen, come to us. And so they chew away the newspaper, and by the time they chew away the newspaper, the pheromones have calmed down your laying workers. If not calmed them down, the stronger hive will find the laying worker for you and kill her. And now you've got a really strong colony. So this really strong booming quality, if it's in July, maybe early August, do a split. Go in the winter with a nucleus colony. That overwintered nuke that we all like to buy, there you go. So that's what you do for them. The laying workers are tough because you got to be on top of it. Alright, so you don't have a laying worker. I got spotty brood pattern. Oh, I can't find my queen. I got larvae. I don't have any eggs. What do I do? Still can't find my queen, but I've never found my queen. Huh. From egg to larva is how many days?
21.
Egg, larva.
Oh, I'm sorry, 3.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought you meant.
You're staying after class. So now you've got a queen that's been missing for 3 days. So if you only have larvae, and depending on what size larvae you have a minimum of 3 days missing, right? You can't find her, you don't have eggs, where'd she go? I don't know. You rolled her. Here's the big one, this one's fun. You had a queen cell somewhere, and this queen emerged, this queen found out. They met in the middle, and they had a little fight, and they both died. That's what's scary. When everybody's like, hey, do I keep my sperm cells? Do I keep my supersedure cells? Not in the same hive, because what happens when they emerge together and they kill each other? Because that's what happens. Was she old and you just missed it? I mean, you know, you forgot, she wasn't marked, you forgot how old she was, and she just kind of killed over the heart attack. If I had that many daughters, yes, I would die too. I only have one, and frequently. Did you roll her? Or did you have a swarm? You missed your swarm. You had a swarm cell, and she hadn't come back yet. She's out at the DCA meeting all the boys. Early on in the game of having larvae that know eggs and you can't find a queen, I would not rush right out and buy a queen. Because you're going to try and get it, and that virgin queen's going to be home no longer a virgin. Now you got a problem. Now they're going to fight. Now it's going to be several days before you know that, and then you're going to come back and it's going to be mid-September and everybody, and the big queen's dead. So what do? There's your sign. So, a visible queen. And again, don't get hung up on finding it. You're looking for evidence. She went out. Look for your queen cells. I have another PowerPoint. I don't think it's in this one. Trapdoor. That's what you want to see. So if you had even a swarm, super procedure, or emergency, whatever. She has emerged. She was alive when she left. Now, if you have one of these, and you've got one with a big hole over here, this one was alive. This one helped that other one out. She went and chewed the side open and she killed it. Now, if you got two with trapdoors, you better find one of them quick. Side it's chewed up. So that was where Queenie number 1 made it out ahead of time. And her and Queenie number 2 have probably had a battle. One of them has gone out on a mating flight, and you hope the dragonfly doesn't get that one. So, that's what happens. And here's the other problem. If you're looking for your queen, you can't find her. There's a queen cell, the trap door is open. Your worker bee and your virgins look almost identical until she comes back and starts really laying. So, me personally, I can't find my queen, I don't have a sign. I give them brood from my Plan B, which talks about Plan B. I give them eggs, larvae, cat brood from Plan B for a few days until I can be 100% sure I really don't have a queen. Because I'm not going to go spend $50 for Randy Oliver to overnight mail me a queen or more. So that's what I would do. If you've got a bunch of queen cells, before you remove them all, you need to look at them. Those little weenie ones, those little emergency ones, just get them out of there. They're not going to be worthless. They're worthless. If you bought a queen and you're going to re-queen the hive, you make dang sure you don't have a queen. Just go through it 100%. If there's any cells at all, compared to swarm, supersede, or emergency, get those queen cells out. If you don't want to kill them, put them in a nuke box. Put them over here, just in case this option doesn't work out. You've got something to pull from. An emergency queen, although not ideal, is better than no queen at all. But I have a hard time killing queen cells until I know I've got a viable queen. Because it's Murphy's Law states every time you kill all of your queen cells and you try and re-queen with a new queen, it's just not going to work. Murphy writes that law. So, this time of year, the bees are cranky. I'm cranky, it's hot. You gotta look at resources. You gotta look at your brood pattern. And you gotta figure out, is my queen viable? How old is my queen? Butch does every 2 years, Bill. Bill does whenever it needs. I think Butch, your oldest queen was 5 one time, wasn't she? A long time ago?
They superseded it between year 5 and 6.
Yes. So, right now, until we get a better genetic population, at a minimum, you need to requeen your bees every 2 years for safety. In my opinion, unless you gem up. If it's good treatment-free stock, as we've been talking about.
I want to add one thing to it. Bill gets more longevity out of his queens. And I think it's for one particular reason. He's racing most of his own queens. If you're controlling the racing of your queens, you're getting quality. You're doing it the right way. So you get more longevity out of it. Rather than working with these puppy males and the queen breeders that do it. So I think that's how you get more longevity.
And I
when I
do.
buy one, it's not, 2 years is about all.
I do believe you need to know your breeder. You know, do not, unless it's a true emergency, you need to do a little research, phone a friend, something like that, before you go buy a queen. You know, we all know, a lot of us know, sometimes through trial and error and sometimes through word of mouth. It's like, don't go over there. A lot of times you can look at the queens. When you're going to go buy them, I've seen the pictures, and you're just looking at the queen and you're like, man, this queen's in a cage. Supposed to be new. Her wings are a little beat up. She's looking a little skinny. You know, sometimes you can just look at them and you're like, I don't like you, but sorry, honey. Go find somebody else. But know your genetics. It's also important. Buy the genetics that you want. Think about every genetic hold. Are you wanting more honey? Are you wanting to raise brood? Are you buying for propolis? Whatever what traits do you want your bees? Look for that breeder, and then look for references on the breeder to make sure they're good. Absolutely, 100% should be a Varroa sensitive queen. You want a queen. We would all love to go treatment free. We like to say treatment free, but we're all smart enough to know it's really treatment occasional, right? But if you've got the nut from down the road that you paid $15 for, you're going to have Varroa and disease off the wazoo. Pay the extra $10 and get a good hygienic queen. And you can get the good hygienic queen that is out of a honey producing line, is out of propolis producing line, a gentle stock. Some of the hygienic queens are not so nice, and you got to get over that. You can't have everything. But right now, there was a Facebook post this week. Somebody's like, "Do you have a queen?" You got about 2 or 3 more weeks to figure this out before the queens are gone. So if they're gone with Bob Denny, you got queens?
Not this time of year here, but
Yeah.
with Randy Oliver, you can order up through September and
Right.
October.
So
Warmer weather.
he's on the West Coast. So that's why. So right now, all right, through September, if you need a queen, you're going to have to go to the West Coast to get it, which means that's probably going to cost you more. I'd rather phone a friend first.
Yeah, Hawaii.
So yeah, we've had a few people in the club have done that before. Are those the 250 queens? Wasn't it 250?
No, that was the 250s were way back when for VP queens.
Okay.
Cone queens, I think now are somewhere around $25, $26.
Yeah, they're not very expensive.
Oh, that's not bad. And that's
They
all
don't
new
Got
genetics.
banks too.
They don't like that winter.
No.
I've tried it.
Yeah, they're a little spoiled. So go in your hive, look at it. Look at your hive. Look at your resources. Look at your brood pattern. Do a mite count. And then look for your eggs. Don't worry about your queen. You got eggs, you got a queen. 3 days later, if you don't have eggs, you don't have a queen. So everybody gets hung up on my queen, I can't find my queen. I don't care. Do you care? Do you care? Rodney, do you care? So,
When I'm treating them,
yes, yes, you do. So, yeah, the only time I really care is, like my very first beehives, I had to find a queen every day. Every day. So, probably not helping just mentally for her. So, here's your resources. Oh, look, there's Randy Oliver. So, Michael Bish is a good resource about queen health. So, any questions about your queens? Rule of thumb. fat dog, I'm gonna fat shame you and your dog. You give me a fat bee, I'm gonna be happy. So,
Thank you.
Alrighty. That's it for tonight. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Hope everybody got a lot of good information.